What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. I just came off watching the new episode of Call of the Arbiter with Aethel, which is actually pretty cool. I'm not going to make any spoilers, but if you guys do want to check out the episode, it's live on the Raid Shadow Legends official YouTube channel, or you could just head over to the section down here and it'll take you to the direct link. But what we're going to be breaking down today is the 10x champions for this weekend's event. But there's something juicy added onto that, because for the first time in ages, the most anticipated event in Raid history, a guaranteed Ancients event is coming live in full effect to coincide with this. Now, who is it going to be? Is it somebody game-changing? Did you manage to guess from the thumbnail? I kind of put him into a bit of a silhouette, so you couldn't tell straight away. But maybe I just left it too easy to judge. And he goes by the name of Alsgor Crimsonhorn from the Barbarians, who's actually the counterpart to Jetni the Giant, who was the fusion that's just coming towards an end. And he's definitely a beast for the Demon Door clan boss or some arena progression, and so many ways you can utilize his kit, maybe even in the Iron Twins Fortress. But he's going to be coming at a cost, brace yourselves, of 180 Ancient Shards, which is 30 above some of the previous ones that we've had. So if I just bring up hellhades.com very briefly, you can see here that we had Missionarchy, which was obtainable from fragments in a summoning event, which you could use any of the shards. But the last time we've had a guaranteed Ancients was actually for Stoutest Dragonbane, and the cost was 150. If we head down a little bit more, we had Gothred Brassclad at 140 Ancients, and then before that was Ragash at 150 as well. So they kind of stayed on that threshold of 150 to 140 for the previous 3 events. So we're seeing an increase of 30 Ancients for this one in particular. You guys can let me know what you feel about that. It's not my job to tell you what to do with your shards. It's just to tell you what's up, right? For anybody that wants to participate. We did at the very start used to begin on around 120, which is where I got my Genzin from. So it's definitely going up in increments here. But let's just speak actually about the champion now. He can enable so many Demon Door clan boss teams with this block damage being on a 4-turn cooldown. And I've actually got a guide on the channel for anybody that wants to check it out. It didn't do too well when I released it, but hopefully if you guys are getting Alsgor now, it might pick up some traction, right? But what I was using was block damage by himself. I wasn't using two like the traditional teams with like a Warcaster or another block damage option. And I was actually fully healing my stun target, and I was tanking them up with defense, making like a budget team, right? And it was actually a really cool one because it was a very comfortable 2-key with average gear. But if you can optimize gear, you can push well towards that 1-key if you bring in somebody like Vizier Ovelis to extend the debuffs. But speaking about extensions, you could actually extend with the Thunderous Maul of up to 2 random debuffs on a 50% chance. And that's pretty good, right? Extend poisons or drop defense or the weakens, whatever that may be, he has that chance to do so. If we go into Crack the Sky, he's got the ability to go through weak hits and remove all buffs from enemies if Jetni the Giant is on the same team, followed by a continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. And if you don't have Jetni, it's just going to be 2 random buffs from enemies, and this cannot be going through those weak hits. So you're definitely getting a lot of value from this, but just keep an eye out for the polymorph, which can definitely get him. On the Trammel, very good for the Iron Twins Fortress, because if you pair it with Jetni the Giant, you'll be getting a 30% decrease speed debuff on the attacker for 2 turns whenever he's attacked, granted that you have the accuracy stats. And it's only going to be a 50% chance if Jetni's not on the team, which is still relatively good, I'd say, maybe for waves in the Doom Tower and stuff, or in the arena. But for Iron Twins in particular, you definitely want to enable that partner ability to keep that consistent. So overall, very strong, a straight out way to unlock Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss in my opinion. But it just comes down to, do you have the shards and do you feel like it's worth it for your account? Or do you already have champions like Helicath and stuff and you didn't go for Jetni the Giant? Because remember, you are increasing the value of Jetni if you get her as well, because she can ignore complete shields with the passive. She can then get that extra turn upon killing enemies, and also can ignore defense as well and have a non-resistible drop defense if Alsgor's on the team. So really comes down to your discretion, but let me know what you think about that, guys. So heading into the actual 10x event now, we're going to be having One for Void Shards, of course, which is going to be Siphi the Lost Bride. And just as a quick note, we will be anticipating a new fusion, in my opinion, shortly after the Jetni one ends. Is it still up at the moment? I'm not too sure, you know. Oh, Jetni's finished. So yeah, maybe next week or the week after, potentially an event will be popping up. But Siphi is definitely one that I would love to get on my account, but I just don't have any shards. I had like 17 and I summoned them for Grizzled and got absolute res. But what she can enable is a non-resistible sleep, which in the arena is an absolute nuisance. We have a block debuffs, increased defense, and increased speed all in one skill with the Whirlwind Romance. We also have Love Beyond Death, where she can revive a single target with full turn meter and 55% HP, whilst placing an increased attack and increased crit rate buff on that ally. So let's just say hypothetically you revive somebody that has attack stats, right? Your nuker. You can then increase their attack, increase their crit rate, put them in the best possible position to nuke down their enemies. Because you get the full turn meter, right? Granting them that immediate turn. On the Eternal Bond, heals this ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn, or each ally should I say, and has a chance of removing freeze and fear debuffs from each ally at the start of their turn. We'll then remove all debuffs from Rotos the Lost Groom at the start of their turn if they're on the same team. So definitely getting that partner ability going on is going to be beneficial for your accounts. I would love to have that one day. Just not today, I guess. I'm leading into the next champion. It's going to be from the Sacred Order. And it's going to be Archbishop Pinthroy. Very underrated in my opinion, because he does have a increased accuracy, alleviating some of those intensive stats for places like the Hydra boss, or even the Iron Twins Fortress, for instance. We'll then place 100% heal reduction, potentially for Never Spider, right? Or just anywhere you want to use it, or the waves in the Doom Tower. Followed by an AoE block buffs, right? Which is very strong for the Hydra boss, of course, for 2 turns. Champions from specific factions cannot be resisted by this, so if you're going up in arena, might be able to counter some of those demon spawn, those undead hordes, or those Knights Revenant from healing in the arena, right? With the Gleam of Glory, heals all allies by 30% of their max HP and places a 60% increased defense buff. But if 4 or more allies are alive, we'll place a shield buff on them equal to 30% of their max HP. I'm not usually a fan of their. I prefer this so you've got an even coverage, but still a very substantial heal on a 4-turn cooldown. On the A1, you have a chance of stealing random buffs and transferring them as well, and a passive that can stop drop defense and weaken from going on this champion because he strips it off at the start of each turn. So overall, a great champion that you might be seeing if you're going for the Alsgor Crimsonhorn. I'm heading into the next champion. Is going to be Kyoku from the Shadowkin. One that I actually don't have yet, and she opens the opportunity for so many places. The arena, bottom of the Dreadhorn. She's one of those champions that can place block damage on herself. She grants extra turns. She's got ally protection in her team. It's like, if you got block damage on with ally protection, you're protecting your allies whilst taking no damage yourself. So a very good synergy here. And then on the A2, attacks all enemies with a 100% chance of placing a decreased attack. But after attacking, has a chance of placing a HP burn debuff on all enemies if this skill did not place that debuff. So it's kind of the one or the other thing here. On the A1, a great chance of placing a weaken on a 3-time hitter, and every time this champion is hit with a critical hit, will heal allies by 15% and place an increased defense. So great champion, I just don't have one yet. I want to showcase her one day in a team. One of 3 counterattack champions is next with a Martyr. Where is she? Is she Sacred Order? There she is. So Martyr is a phenomenal champion because she can place Provoke on a 4-turn cooldown alongside decreased attack. She does have that counter attack on a 3-turn to coincide with an increased defense to amplify your sustainability, right? Making her one of the best Demon Lord Clan Boss champions out there. And also a drop defense on the A1, kind of covering so much bases for one champion. So overall, very phenomenal, and congratulations if you manage to pull her, because she'll drastically change your accounts. And you might even want to pair her with Alsgor, a block damage counter-attack team. That would be phenomenal for sure. The next champion is going to be Ursala the Mourner from the Bannerlords, and you've seen her come into fruition with the Hydra Clash, which is actually going live 1 hour after this video publishes, I guess. So keep an eye out for that for the finale. But she enables some decreased attack AoEs. We got increased attack to amplify damage. We've got a revive skill for all allies on a 5-turn cooldown with increased defense and strength and buffs as well, for 3 turns. The Lance of Penitence has attacks one enemy, has a chance of decreasing the turn meter of allies or enemies. And also with the aura, 24% speed in Doom Tower battles, making an all-round great champion for people to pick up. But you probably won't see it unless you're going for Siphi, but good luck on that if you guys are. Next up is going to be Seeker, and I know that anybody that's going for Alsgor is definitely going to want this, because he enables so many block damage unkillable teams out there with a way that he can increase his turn meter or allies turn meter, alongside with attack, and grants an extra turn on a 3-turn cooldown. Leads him with his provoke, which we're not caring about for clan boss, but for the head of decay in the Hydra boss, could definitely have some use. But just enabling so many teams is just amazing, and I currently use him in my clan boss team, and I'm definitely seeing the value. So definitely keep an eye out for him if you're going for Alsgor, and even the Martyr. Maybe pair all of them together, who knows. Next up is going to be Mausoleum Mage from the Undead Hordes. A pretty outdated champion, but still has its uses. Mausoleum Mage. And I used to think of him as like the poor man's Gorgorab when I first started, but they're just completely different champions. He places decreased speed A1, relatively good chance being a 40%. We have an increased defense, increased crit rate, and a block debuffs on all allies on this 3-turn cooldown here. And also a full out cleanse, making him very strong for the arena as well, or even in the Demon Lord. So just an overall great champion to add to your rosters. Next up, last but not least, there we go, is going to be a Grizzled Jarl. Where are you, buddy? Now, this champion can place heal reduction, great for the Nether Spider, but it is on a low chance here. But the main highlights is the increased defense for 2 turns, the block debuffs for 1 turn, whether that be for the decreased speed or for the stun turn itself in the clan boss, followed by a decreased attack on a 4-turn cooldown, which, of course, you'd rather be on a 3-turn, but still nice to have in the team as a backup option. So yeah guys, that was it for the list in terms of guaranteeds and 10x champions. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for this or holding on for your shards for any future fusions that may be popping up. But just on that note, just to finish off, on a Friday, May 26th, so tomorrow, they'll be planning to enable super raids in the Dragon's Lair. So for anybody trying to participate in the Dragon, it might be a good time for you to farm it, right, with those super raids. But yeah, that's going to be all for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And have an amazing rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys on a video soon. Peace.